So starting the test drive in this 24 Versa SR, I really like how easy this thing is to drive. Now, if you put your foot to the pedal, it kind of worries you. You feel like the car's about to blow up, but I mean, it's a 1.6 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. It sounds just like my 1997 Geo Prism that I had. Now, if you drive this thing normally, it actually is very capable in terms of getting up to speed. And then again, you're still getting 32 miles per gallon city, 40 miles per gallon highway. In a vehicle around 23 grand, I mean, you can't beat that, especially having this nice 8-inch screen here, having the adaptive cruise, having the high beam assist, everything that comes with that Safety Shield 360 that Nissan provides on this car. And a big plus for me, which I always love, is the blind spot monitors. Now, me personally, I would much rather pay the extra 3 grand, 4 grand, however much it is, get this SR as opposed to getting a base model S, just because you get a nice looking vehicle, a nicer looking vehicle, I should say. Now, this does also have the Aspen White tri-coat paint, but I mean, you get the LED headlamps, blind spot monitors. You also get this left side digital gauge cluster here. So all this is pretty much a screen as opposed to just the small one you get in the middle on the S. But one of my favorite things is adaptive cruise control. So having that here, I think it's the intelligent cruise control is what Nissan calls it. Having that here is a big plus for me as well. But everything else pretty much feels similar to the Versa S, just how this drives, how it feels, the space you get. The only little thing that I found was interesting was, like I said earlier, that back seat doesn't fold in the S, but you can fold it down in this SR here. But if you want a more sport-oriented vehicle, where this also shines is just how it, even on the interior, having the orange stitching here, that black leatherette, and even the seats with the two-tone there, it just makes this feel like a much more expensive car as opposed to the base model S there. And then also just having this leather wrap steering wheel with the stitching, the more I look at this vehicle, the more I see that you really get your money's worth upgrading from an S to an SR with a Nissan Versa. And I don't know if it is a leather wrap steering wheel, but I just took this, I wanted to do the Versa S and compare it to this SR back to back, just to kind of see the difference in everything. And this even feels like it drives better in this SR trim level, and I think it just has to do with having the heated seat. These, it could all be in my head, but it just feels like these seats are more supportive, and then having the leather wrap steering wheel is a big plus over that hard vinyl steering wheel, and it just makes it, again, feel less cheap. And I don't really know what competitors that you could compare the Versa to. It's one of the few that's left, first of all, in terms of a small car, but secondly, just in terms of a vehicle you can get under 20 grand, period. And for this SR under 25 grand, you could maybe compare it to a Corolla. Now, of course, Hyundai, I don't know, they still, yeah, they have the Elantra, but I feel like that would be more of a Sentra competitor. And then Toyota with a Corolla, I feel like those would be competitors. This Versa is in a subcompact realm with very few competitors still left. Because everybody's just going, I mean, you have the kicks, and there are a lot more competitors for the kicks as opposed to this Versa here. But we're gonna give it a little pull in sport mode, getting on the interstate here. So it can get up to speed when it needs to, but certainly not a speed demon there. I'm going to take it out of sport mode. And I enjoy having the adaptive cruise here. I wish I had the lane centering, but not really a big deal breaker there. Again, this is still under $24,000. So just having adaptive cruise, I mean, it's pretty impressive for the price point, I think. Now, I do feel like wind noise has picked up a little bit, and I also think these alloy wheels are just a bit louder than the 15-inch steel wheels on that Versa S. But just sitting here listening to the sound, it kind of almost went away after I slowed down just a few miles per hour. But we're getting some crazy gusts here and there with the weather report. And I saw that earlier today. They said it would start picking up, and the sun is starting to go down, so that has some bearing on it, I'm sure. But I want to give one more thank you to John Roberts Nissan here in Manchester, Tennessee. They have pretty good pricing over there just compared to everything else in this area. And then on top of that, just the service you get there is pretty good. I've had to deal with them a few times, and they just come off as regular folks. So if you're looking for a buying experience like that, definitely check them out. But I mean, I think it's an impressive car, again, for 24 grand, for everything that you get here, from the exterior styling to the interior features, the Safety Shield 360. So yeah, with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Nissan Versa in the SR trim level.